but is that a UFO? Amazing.
Holy shit!
It was a clear night over the Temple Mount when the unimaginable happened. A blinding, almost otherworldly light suddenly illuminated the ancient stones, visible for miles across the city. Witnesses described it as piercing, unnatural, and impossible to ignore. Social media erupted with videos, while scientists scrambled to determine the source. Was it a rare atmospheric phenomenon, a celestial event, or something far more sinister? The implications of such a light over one of the world's most sacred sites could shake history, religion, and science alike. What exactly caused this terrifying illumination? Stay with us as we find out. The night began like any other, with a calm breeze and a sky scattered with stars. Then, without warning, a brilliant white light erupted over the Temple Mount. It wasn't the soft glow of the moon or the scattered shine of city lights. It was a concentrated, almost tangible blaze that seemed to hover above the stones themselves. Security cameras captured the instant the light appeared, showing it emerging with astonishing speed. Witnesses described an intense heat, though no flames were visible, and an eerie hum that resonated through the air. People on nearby streets reported feeling disoriented, some even temporarily blinded by the intensity of the glow. The phenomenon lasted only minutes, but its impact was immediate and unforgettable. Scientists and authorities were alerted immediately. Satellite imagery confirmed the anomaly, showing an intense spike in energy readings localized directly over the mount. Atmospheric experts examined cloud formations and light refraction possibilities, but none could explain the scale, precision, or intensity. This was no natural occurrence. It was as if the mount itself had become the focal point of something extraordinary. Religious leaders were quick to react, citing scriptures and prophecies that spoke of lights signaling divine messages or apocalyptic events. The fear and awe combined, sparking debate around whether this was a celestial warning, a scientific anomaly, or an otherworldly sign. Meanwhile, AI monitoring systems began analyzing every frame, every energy reading, and every witness account. Early results revealed patterns of energy that defied known physics, hinting at something far beyond natural or human causes. The stage was set for a discovery that could challenge the very boundaries of belief and science. In the hours following the event, thousands of people came forward with first-hand accounts. Street vendors, tour guides, and residents all described the same surreal phenomenon, a light so intense it seemed almost alive, shifting in color from brilliant white to a pale, blinding blue. Many reported feeling a pressure in the air, a tingling sensation that made hair stand on end. Some claimed to hear whispers, indistinct yet unsettling, echoing in the silence that followed the glow. Video footage flooded social media, showing flashes that seemed to move with purpose rather than randomly. One amateur videographer, recording from a rooftop nearby, captured a beam splitting into multiple streams, as if the light was scanning the mount itself. The AI later analyzed these videos, confirming that the movements followed geometric patterns, not the chaotic behavior expected of natural light. Eyewitnesses reported sudden emotional shifts, fear, awe, and in some cases, an unexplainable euphoria. Children screamed and pointed, elders prayed aloud, and cameras continuously recorded a spectacle that defied comprehension. People who had never visited the Temple Mount claimed to feel drawn to it, as if an unseen force compelled them to witness the event. Local authorities struggled to maintain order. Streets near the mount were congested with crowds trying to get a glimpse, while emergency services reported minor injuries from fainting or disorientation caused by the intensity of the light. Scholars and religious figures flocked to the scene, some seeing it as divine, others warning of danger. The AI began cross-referencing eyewitness reports with satellite imagery, energy spikes, and historical records. Remarkably, it detected a consistency across accounts, despite cultural and personal differences. The light had followed a deliberate path, pausing over specific ancient stones and altar sites. This suggested that the phenomenon was not random, natural, or coincidental. It was interacting with the Temple Mount structures in ways that demanded explanation. As humanity watched in awe and fear, one chilling question emerged. If this was a signal, a warning, or an activation of some ancient force, what was it trying to reveal, and who or what had triggered it? And who or what had triggered it? Within hours of the blinding light, an international team of scientists descended on the Temple Mount. Physicists, atmospheric experts, archaeologists, and engineers converged, determined to uncover the source of the phenomenon. Yet the deeper they probed, the stranger the evidence became. Initial measurements ruled out natural causes. No lightning, solar flares, or atmospheric anomalies matched the intensity or behavior of the light. Energy readings from the area were off the charts, localized spikes far beyond anything previously recorded. Ground sensors detected electromagnetic fluctuations that pulsed rhythmically, almost as if the mount itself were a conductor, channeling the light in a precise, deliberate pattern. Dr. Miriam Lang, a leading physicist on site, spoke of her astonishment. "We've ruled out everything we know. This isn't a natural phenomenon. It's something entirely different, and it's centered directly on the Temple Mount." She described instruments going haywire near the epicenter, with magnetic fields fluctuating violently, compasses spinning uncontrollably, and electronic devices malfunctioning in ways science couldn't immediately explain. Meanwhile, archaeologists noted that the light seemed to focus on specific areas of the mount, ancient stones long associated with sacred rituals and long-forgotten structures. The AI cross-referenced these locations with historical records and discovered an uncanny alignment. The light was activating points corresponding to structures and altars believed to be buried beneath the mount for centuries. As news of the investigation spread, government agencies, religious authorities, and private research organizations monitored the event. Drones were deployed to capture aerial footage, while satellites provided real-time energy scans. The AI began mapping a three-dimensional energy grid, revealing channels and nodes that mirrored architectural features now buried under layers of earth and stone. The team faced a sobering realization. The phenomenon was not merely visible, it was interactive, possibly responding to ancient structures or symbols embedded within the mount. And if that was true, humanity was witnessing something far larger and more deliberate than anyone could have anticipated. Dr. Lang's final words to the team that night echoed with unease. "Whatever this is, it isn't just a light. It's a message, and it's been waiting for us to notice it." As the scientists struggled to explain the blinding light, religious scholars and historians began to draw eerie connections to ancient texts. Prophecies long considered symbolic or metaphorical suddenly seemed to describe the event in chilling detail. Scriptures from Jewish, Christian, and Islamic traditions all contained passages referencing sudden, radiant lights appearing over sacred sites, signs of divine presence, judgment, or the awakening of hidden knowledge. One passage frequently cited described a pillar of brilliance that blinds yet reveals, a phenomenon that occurs before times of revelation or upheaval. Scholars noted that certain verses linked the light to the Temple Mount itself, suggesting that a signal or awakening was imminent at a site historically associated with spiritual and political significance. The AI cross-referenced the texts, highlighting striking consistencies with the exact locations the light had illuminated. Witnesses recalled that the light seemed to pause over specific ancient stones, aligning with altars and ceremonial points long thought lost beneath centuries of rubble. Could this be the fulfillment of prophecies foretelling a sign meant to herald change, discovery, or even warning? The convergence of historical records, sacred texts, and real-time observation created a sense of urgency and fear. Dr. Lang and her team, though grounded in science, could not ignore the patterns. The AI detected precise mathematical sequences in the energy pulses that echoed symbolic numerical patterns found in the scriptures, an intersection of faith, history, and measurable energy phenomena. It was as though the ancients had anticipated both the light and the ability of future generations to interpret it. Across the globe, religious leaders issued statements. Some hailed the event as miraculous, a signal from the divine. Others cautioned restraint, warning that misinterpretation could spark panic or conflict. The world watched, suspended between awe and fear, as scientists and theologians alike grappled with the possibility that prophecy and observation were converging in real time. One haunting question emerged. If these prophecies were now manifesting, what were they signaling, and was humanity prepared to understand or survive the consequences? Amidst the growing chaos of reports, the AI systems deployed by the scientific team began to reveal patterns invisible to the human eye. By analyzing satellite imagery, ground sensors, and eyewitness footage, the AI detected energy surges emanating from the Temple Mount with a precision that defied natural explanation. The pulses were rhythmic, almost musical, resonating at frequencies that interacted with the Mount's ancient stones. These weren't random emissions. The AI mapped the energy flow in 3 dimensions, revealing a network of channels beneath the Mount, converging on points long associated with sacred rituals. The analysis suggested that the light was not just visual, it was physical, influencing electromagnetic fields, gravity sensors, and even the perception of those nearby. People reported feelings of vertigo, sudden chills, and an inexplicable pull toward the Mount, consistent with the AI's detection of subtle gravitational anomalies. Dr. Lang and her colleagues were stunned. "It's as if the Temple Mount itself is alive," she said, her voice tense. "It's generating and directing energy in ways we've never seen." The AI further identified harmonics in the light's pattern, corresponding to ancient architectural layouts beneath the surface. Stones placed thousands of years ago seemed to act as conductors or amplifiers, channeling and focusing the energy skyward. The implications were staggering. This was not a natural phenomenon, nor a simple atmospheric event. It was an interaction between ancient construction and a source of energy that modern science could barely define. The AI flagged one particularly intense node beneath a section thought to be a collapsed altar, noting a spike of energy thousands of times higher than surrounding points. The team realized that understanding the light required more than physics or history. It demanded a synthesis of architecture, ancient knowledge, and energy science. And as the AI continued to decode the pulses, one chilling conclusion became clear. The blinding light was deliberate, a signal or activation intended to be seen, felt, and possibly understood only when humanity had the means to observe it. The AI's energy mapping led scientists to an astonishing conclusion. The Temple Mount itself might conceal a hidden mechanism, ancient yet functional, capable of channeling and amplifying the blinding light. Layers of earth and rubble had long obscured evidence, but subtle magnetic anomalies and geometric alignments suggested a system far more sophisticated than anything previously imagined. Using ground-penetrating radar and 3D modeling, the team discovered a series of subterranean chambers and conduits, aligned with the points the AI had identified as energy nodes. The tunnels were reinforced with stones that bore inscriptions, the carvings matching patterns now illuminated by the light above. The AI suggested that these were not decorative. They acted as amplifiers and stabilizers, directing energy upward toward the sky. The mechanism appeared to operate like a colossal ancient circuit. Each chamber contained stone platforms, metallic inlays, and voids shaped to guide and focus energy. When the light appeared, it followed these conduits precisely, activating specific focal points with near-perfect timing. The AI determined that the builders had designed it to respond to celestial alignments and possibly to human interaction, a system merging architecture, astronomy, and energy in ways modern science could barely comprehend. Dr. Lang, her tone grim, addressed the team. "If this is a mechanism, it's not just a relic, it's a machine, and it's active. We need to understand it, or we risk triggering something we don't fully control." Archaeologists were equally stunned. The construction techniques suggested knowledge of energy manipulation thought impossible for ancient civilizations. Adding to the mystery, some of the conduits contained materials that defied categorization. Metallic elements with unusual conductivity and crystalline structures appeared designed to resonate at specific frequencies. The AI hypothesized that these components could explain the intensity and coherence of the light and even its apparent effect on human perception. It became chillingly clear. This was no accident. The Temple Mount had been deliberately engineered as a conduit, a device to project energy in a controlled yet overwhelming display. But why? And to what end? As the AI continued to analyze the Temple Mount, a startling pattern emerged. certain ancient symbols and carvings appeared to react to the blinding light. Stones that had sat dormant for millennia suddenly glimmered, their inscriptions glowing faintly in sync with the pulses of energy detected beneath the surface. The phenomenon was subtle at first, but unmistakable. An interaction between the light, the mount, and the symbols carved into its stones. Researchers noticed that the activated symbols were clustered in locations corresponding to historical altars and ceremonial sites. When the AI mapped their positions, it revealed geometric alignments that matched constellations referenced in sacred texts. The light seemed to follow these alignments deliberately, illuminating points that corresponded with astronomical events, suggesting that the builders of the Temple Mount had created a system capable of bridging time, space, and energy. The carvings themselves were baffling. Some depicted abstract shapes and interlocking patterns, while others portrayed humanoid figures interacting with beams of light. The AI noted that these figures mirrored the geometric flow of energy detected in the hidden conduits beneath the mount, almost as if the ancient artisans had encoded instructions for harnessing or channeling this light. Witnesses nearby described feelings of awe and disorientation when the symbols glowed. Some claimed to hear low hums, others felt vibrations under their feet, as though the mount itself was responding. Scientists began to speculate that the light was not purely optical. It was energetic, capable of influencing electromagnetic and possibly even neurological activity in humans nearby. Dr. Lang summarized the unnerving discovery. These symbols aren't merely decorative, they're functional. They were designed to interact with the light and energy, to transmit knowledge, or perhaps a warning, across millennia. As the AI decoded the sequences, it became clear that this activation was not random. The symbols, the conduits, and the light were part of a single deliberate system, an ancient technology fused with sacred purpose. Humanity had stumbled upon a signal encoded in stone, waiting for this exact moment to reveal its power. As data streamed in from sensors, satellites, and eyewitness reports, scientists struggled to reconcile the facts with known physics. The Temple Mount's blinding light defied every conventional theory. It was not atmospheric, chemical, or astronomical. Its precision, interaction with ancient symbols, and energy patterns suggested a phenomenon far beyond human understanding. Some physicists proposed that the light might be a form of directed energy, perhaps from an unknown natural source, or even a relic of ancient technology lost to history. Others speculated it was a previously undiscovered electromagnetic anomaly, capable of manifesting visible light under specific conditions. Yet every model failed to account for the synchronicity between the light, the hidden conduits, and the symbols activated on the mount. The AI suggested an even more unsettling possibility, that the light was not just an energy discharge, but a message or signal intentionally encoded for activation at a precise moment in time. The alignment with celestial positions, ancient altars, and specific carvings implied that the builders anticipated a future era capable of witnessing and interpreting the event. Could this be evidence of intelligence beyond our current understanding? Religious scholars added another layer of complexity. Many cited prophecies speaking of a blinding glory appearing over the Temple Mount, signaling either revelation or judgment. Historians noted eerie parallels between the event and ancient texts describing celestial phenomena linked to divine presence. The convergence of science, prophecy, and observation created an unprecedented puzzle, one that challenged both faith and reason. Even among the scientists, opinions diverged. Some viewed it as a natural yet rare event amplified by the temple's architecture. Others feared it could be a warning, a trigger for forces humanity did not yet comprehend. Governments and media amplified the tension as the world watched anxiously, unable to explain what had occurred. Dr. Lang, reflecting on the data, admitted the unsettling truth. Whatever is happening here, it's intelligent, deliberate, and far older than we are. We are witnessing a phenomenon that challenges the very limits of knowledge. News of the blinding light over the Temple Mount spread like wildfire. Governments issued statements, urging calm while experts scrambled to investigate. Religious leaders around the world convened emergency meetings, some declaring it a miracle, others a dire warning. Social media exploded with footage, eyewitness accounts, and speculation, sending shockwaves across every continent. The AI's analysis revealed that the phenomenon was not isolated. It had created subtle electromagnetic disturbances detectable far beyond the mount. Power grids in nearby regions fluctuated inexplicably, compasses malfunctioned, and communication systems experienced brief, unexplained interference. Panic began to ripple through communities already sensitive to prophetic interpretations of celestial signs. Across the Middle East, worshippers and pilgrims gathered at sacred sites, fearing that the light heralded either a divine intervention or an impending catastrophe. Security forces struggled to maintain order, while media outlets broadcast footage of the glowing mount to millions worldwide. The combination of awe and fear created a tense atmosphere that many described as apocalyptic in tone. Meanwhile, scientists and historians cautioned against hasty conclusions. They warned that misunderstanding or misrepresenting the event could ignite political and religious tensions. Yet despite measured voices, speculation ran rampant. Some theorized extraterrestrial involvement, advanced lost technology, or even an ancient hidden mechanism activating after millennia. The AI began correlating global data, attempting to predict patterns, and identified subtle shifts in environmental energy readings that mirrored the pulses at the Temple Mount. It was as if the light's influence was extending, reaching beyond human perception, signaling something yet to come. Dr. Lang spoke candidly during a press briefing. This is not just a local anomaly, it is global in implication. What we are witnessing challenges our understanding of history, science, and reality itself. The world must watch closely, because the Temple Mount is not finished revealing its secrets. The tension was palpable. Humanity was confronted with a phenomenon that defied explanation, and the questions it raised were as unsettling as the light itself. What was its purpose, and what might follow next? As scientists pieced together data, a chilling realization emerged. The blinding light was not a random occurrence, but part of an intricate system embedded within the Temple Mount itself. The AI confirmed that the subterranean conduits, energy nodes, and activated symbols formed a network designed to project, amplify, and direct energy above the mount. The builders had left a deliberate functional signal, a message encoded in stone, energy, and light. Further analysis revealed that the light's intensity and pulse patterns were linked to celestial alignments, suggesting that it was timed to specific astronomical events. The AI concluded that the Temple Mount had been engineered to interact with cosmic energy in ways humanity was only beginning to comprehend. This was not merely a historical artifact, it was a mechanism capable of transmitting power and information across space and possibly time. Some of the activated symbols hinted at warnings, others at knowledge. The AI detected that the sequences in the carvings could correspond to advanced mathematical and physical principles, far ahead of ancient civilizations. The terrifying implication was clear. The light was a signal meant to awaken awareness, reveal hidden truths, or test humanity's readiness to comprehend forces beyond ordinary perception. Dr. Lang's final assessment left the team in stunned silence. The mount itself is a beacon, a relic of intelligence beyond our understanding. What we saw wasn't just light, it was a message, a warning, and a demonstration of power. Humanity is being challenged to interpret it correctly or risk consequences we cannot yet predict. The convergence of energy, architecture, and celestial alignment suggested that the blinding light was both a revelation and a reckoning. It was a phenomenon carefully designed to be witnessed, analyzed, and perhaps heeded. And now, with the world watching, its terrifying truth had begun to unfold. A blinding light over the Temple Mount has left scientists and witnesses alike stunned, revealing a mystery that bridges history, prophecy, and advanced energy. Humanity stands at the edge of understanding forces long hidden. Subscribe, comment, and stay tuned as we continue to uncover secrets that may redefine everything we know.